G'day guys, how are you feeling on this beautiful day? Fabulous. So I want to do a little activity with you guys. I want you to imagine if you could eat a watermelon whole. Crazy, right? But there are actually animals out there that can do it. Our world is full of such extraordinary animals, bugs and plants that all have an amazing and important purpose. From trees that clean the air to phytoplankton that create oxygen and even to mosquitoes. Their purpose is a little bit different as they actually spread diseases, but it's actually really important for all animals, including us, so that we can build up our immunities and get strong. But the animal I'm going to talk to you about today is actually one that's been misrepresented throughout history, and that's the snake. Snakes have some awesome superpowers, including having an extra 2 senses than we do. Does anyone know what they are? So just like us, they have sight, hearing, although it's a little bit different to us, touch, taste, and smell. But unlike us, they have a really cool thing. Some of the species, so the one that I've got on me right now, a python, a lot of the pythons in Australia have these really special organ on their face known as their labial pits. It pretty much acts as a thermal camera and helps them to sense heat signatures. Pretty cool, isn't it? Another really cool thing that a lot of reptile species have and that snakes have is something that a lot of other animals have as well. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, that's right. So in their mouth, they have a really cool organ known as the Jacobson's organ. And what that does is tells them what's on the menu without them having to look at it. So if you can see her doing it right now, they stick out their tongue, and then their tongue picks up the scent particles in the air, travels it to the brain through this awesome organ, and just tells them what's around them. So imagine closing your eyes, sticking out your tongue, and knowing that you're having lasagna for dinner. Pretty cool, right? And that's just some of the awesome things that these guys can do. Remember how I said to imagine if you could eat a watermelon whole? Does anyone know how snakes can eat something 5 times the size of their head? One of the most common misconceptions with snakes is that they dislocate their jaw. That's not true. What they have is in their jaw, they have a really special ligament that spreads and opens really wide and allows them to eat something really big. They go a step further than that though, and underneath here, their jaw splits in 2, and then they're able to independently walk either side and move it separately from the other. And so they pretty much walk their mouth over their prey, which is absolutely extraordinary. Another big misconception for reptiles in general is that they're cold-blooded. Now, this isn't entirely true because just like us, they require heat and they need it for their own energy. But unlike us, they can't control their own body temperature. Does anyone know what that's called, that word for that? Yeah, it's a bit different, ectothermic. Does anyone know what the opposite is, what we are? That's right, endothermic. So ecto meaning outside of the body or outside, and endo meaning inside. So that's why often in summer, a snake's or a reptile's favorite place to be is out on the road or on a big rock. Not only is it really warm for them, but it's a way of recharging their batteries. But even with these really cool superpowers, snakes still have a really bad reputation. And that just comes down to one thing that a lot of snake species have, and that's their venom. But the snakes need their venom. It helps them to eat these really big prey items, and it reduces the threat to themselves. So just like a tiger or a lion has these claws, snakes have venom. Now, I can't speak for other countries, but in Australia, you are more likely to die from a cow, a horse, or even a kangaroo than you are from a snake. And that's largely because of the awesome work being done worldwide to create anti-venoms, but it's also because of people behaving correctly around snakes. Does anyone know what they should do if they see a snake in the wild? So I call it the 3 S's. Stop, say something, and slowly walk away. So remember how I said that snakes can hear, but when you look at her, you can see that she doesn't have any ears? Well, she does actually have ears. She just has her scales covering them. So it mutes the sound a little bit, but they're still able to hear. And they actually have inside of their ears a special bone which pretty much feels the vibrations of a lot of sound, which is really, really cool. But it means that if you go around and you stop when you see a snake, all you're going to do is make it scared. And generally, a scared animal is going to bite. When we're scared, we're going to yell or say something, but they can't do that. Their resort to defend themselves is to bite. So that's why it's really important to know how to behave around snakes. People that are most likely bitten by snakes are people that are trying to move them when they don't know the correct handling techniques, or people that are trying to kill them. So all we have to do is make sure that we think about these 3 S's when we're moving around. So make sure you stop, say something so others know there's a snake nearby, and slowly walk away. And that way it will stop and hopefully prevent the snake from misinterpreting you. So we've got to make sure as we snake our way through life that we tread carefully so that we're not constricting our view of our scaly friends. I hope you guys have enjoyed learning some cool facts about snakes.